Can we have one more speaker, and then we're going to have a little break at the bar, we can grab refreshments, and then after that we will commence. So our next speaker is a young gentleman, Ben Scallan. He's 21 years old. He's a co-founder of the New Irish Civil Rights and Conservative organisation. He is somebody who's a fresh breath of fresh air in the Irish political arena, and it's a new perspective and a young perspective and a chance for us to hear what people of a certain age demographic feel about the European Union and where it's taking us and where it's potentially going in the future. So I'd like you to give a warm welcome to Mr. Ben Scallan.
I'm setting up my tablet here. You can tell I'm a millennial. Okay, can we all hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Eve, it's fantastic to be up here and to see so many people willing to stand up for their country in its hour of need. You should all be very proud of yourselves for taking a stand like this. It's courageous to do what you're doing here today. It takes a lot of bravery in our current political climate, and it's not a small thing. You should be very proud of yourselves. My name is Ben Scallan. I'm co-founder of a new Irish company called Civil Right Media, and our mission will be to provide a reasonable centre-right alternative to all the far-left propaganda machines that currently dominate our culture. So we are here to give you the side of the story that's been hidden from you for far too long, because we believe that the Irish people have the right to know the truth. So you can check us out at facebook.com/civilrightmedia if that sounds like the kind of thing you'd be interested in. So with that being said, why should we as a group here today commit ourselves to the IREXIT Freedom Party? What is so special about this party in particular? Well, the truth is that this European superstate that we face is the biggest threat to our freedoms that has existed in our lifetime. It threatens both our national freedoms, our sovereignty and our right to self-determination as a country, and also our individual liberties like our right to speak. You can see things like Article 13 that many of you will be familiar with, where they're trying to take away our memes, essentially. You can say they're trying to seize the memes of production, but I digress. No, but in all seriousness, we should be deeply troubled that powerful people in the EU are trying to control what we watch and what we read. This is the first step on the road to censorship. In the long term, they will inevitably want to be the arbiters of what is acceptable and unacceptable speech, and that is a direct threat to free people like us who have different opinions from mainstream. Ireland, our nation, was founded on the principles of liberty, especially that from foreign control. That is the central tenet of what it is to be Irish, if you had to condense it down to a sentence. That is what our ancestors and our national heroes fought and died for so many hundreds of years. So we thought that it was time that a party in Ireland took us back to our roots and stood up for these liberties of these principles of liberty for once. None of the parties in government at the moment give a damn about this issue. They've all seized the European project with both hands. So if you're waiting for them to cop on and wake up to this, you're wasting your time. It's never going to happen. You know, speaking of liberty, it's amazing. Just this May, the President of the EU Commission, Mr. Jean-Claude Juncker, celebrated Karl Marx's 200th birthday. Karl Marx, of course, being the arch-enemy of private property rights and shaving. Juncker, he erected a massive bronze statue of Marx, and he, of course, gave an impassioned, sycophantic speech gushing over him as a philosopher who thought into the future and had creative aspirations. And I suppose he's right in a sense. It took a kind of creativity to fail as badly as Marx did. You know, he creatively killed over 100 million people with his ideology. I'm not sure that's the kind of creativity that we want in this century, but he's technically not wrong. Several Hungarian MEPs actually wrote to Mr. Juncker about this. They spoke of the horrific suffering that Marxist ideology caused for so many peoples across Europe, especially Eastern Europe. And they said that the celebration of its founder is a mockery of their memory. And of course, they are absolutely right. This lack of sensitivity to so many member states is indicative of a pattern of disrespect and disregard that we can see among the European elites. This man Juncker is happy to glorify the founder of a murderous, totalitarian ideology, and he apparently has no regard for all the citizens who rightly see that statue as a symbol of tyranny. It speaks volumes about the EU's values and the mindset of its leaders. It tells you how much they give a damn about the smaller countries in Europe. And it begs the question for us here in Ireland, since even those small countries are much bigger than our little island and have much bigger populations, if he doesn't care about them, what are the odds that he'll care about us? The EU doesn't respect us, talking about solidarity with Ireland. If they cared about us, then they wouldn't have forced us to borrow billions of euros to save German and French banks, all at the expense of the Irish taxpayer. You and I and our children, and even our children's children, will be paying for this all because of EU corporatism. They are happy to destroy our businesses like our fishing industries and have caused over 100,000 Irish people to emigrate for work after continued economic disasters. We are just another pawn on the board for them to be used as they see fit economically. In a speech last year, Mr. Juncker said that the way to stop populism was to oppose the views of populists and to stand against them politically and say the contrary to their message. And we hear this word bandied about a lot today. The media, they sound like a broken record talking about it. Oh, Nigel Farage is a populist. Trump is a populist. Viktor Orban is a populist. It's become a kind of a slur term used to attack the political opponents of the extreme left. Now, Mr. Juncker and his friends are educated aristocrats. I am not. I am but a lowly intellectual peasant, down here on earth with the rest of you. I didn't actually know what a populist was, to be quite honest with you, but I like to be informed, so I looked it up. And the dictionary defines it as, quite simply, support for the concerns of ordinary people. That is populism. That is the bogeyman. They say that like supporting the concerns of ordinary people is a threat that needs to be stopped and opposed. Because of course, it is a threat. It's a threat to people like them. For the bureaucrats at the top of the European hierarchy, the will of ordinary people like you and I is their worst nightmare. You only had to hear the boos and jeers that greeted Nigel Farage in the EU Parliament the day after the Brexit vote to see this. Oh, how they loathed to see democracy in action. They were apoplectic with rage. They're still doing everything they can to scupper Brexit over 2 years later. They want the people of the UK to vote again until they give the right answer, just like they asked us to vote again after the Nice and Lisbon treaties. It seems to me that there is nothing that angers European Unionists more than free people speaking for themselves. Well, if we have our way, they're going to stay angry, because if there's one thing that we Irish people are good at, it's irritating foreign empires that want to control us. And to any of you who may be pessimistic about this fight that we have ahead of ourselves, look at what we're up against. You've got Miss Merkel, who proves that you can take the woman out of communist East Germany, but you can't take the communism out of the woman.